This is John Gallant. In this video, I'm going to show you how to run the Azure IoT Edge runtime and the Azure IoT Edge dev tool in the Windows Subsystem for Linux, better known as WSL. With the Windows 10 Fall Creator Update, you can access executables on your Windows host from the WSL bash prompt as long as they are in the path environment variable. So we don't need to install Docker on WSL, we can just update our path environment variable to access it on our host directly. We'll also need to expose the Docker daemon without TLS so WSL can access it, and update the sudoers file so the environment variables are picked up by the Edge runtime. For this exercise, I'm going to be using the Azure IoT Edge dev tool, which you can find at aka.ms/IoTEdgeDev. I've already installed the Edge dev tool, created a new project, and updated my .env file with my IoT hub and container registry settings, and now I'm ready to build and deploy my modules. My 2-minute Edge dev tool intro video shows you how to get to this point. You can find that video at aka.ms/IoTEdgeDev 2mins, which I'll link to in the description. Because WSL is Linux Ubuntu, we're going to need to update our .env file's runtime home dir setting to use etc Azure IoT Edge instead of the Windows path. So open up your project's .env file, comment out the Windows line, and uncomment the Linux line. Save that file. Now go into Docker Settings General, and make sure the expose daemon on TCP without TLS box is checked. Open up a bash prompt and try and execute the modules build deploy command. You'll see that it fails, saying that the Docker host environment variable is missing. Now try and call the runtime setup start command, and you'll see that that also fails, saying it cannot connect to the Docker daemon. To get past these errors, you need to explicitly set the Docker host environment variable in your bashrc file and update your sudoers file. You will find the code to set this up in the Edge dev tool README at aka.ms/IoTEdgeDev. This first line is going to add Docker to your path. The next 3 lines are going to add aliases for Docker, Docker Machine, and Docker Compose. The next line is going to add a Docker host environment variable. And the next line is going to update the environment variables for your current command prompt. This line will make Docker host available whenever you execute commands with sudo. So let's go back to the bash prompt and execute these commands. Now when I open up bashrc and scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see path, the aliases, and the Docker host variable. And when I open up the sudoers.d/docker file, I can see the Docker host environment variable there. So I'm going to execute my modules build deploy again. And you'll see that the modules are building as normal. You can see here that the deployment completed successfully. Now I'm going to execute the runtime setup start command. And you'll see that everything started just fine. And that's how to get Windows Subsystem for Linux set up for the Azure IoT Edge runtime. Let me know if you have any issues, and thanks for watching.